everyone, and welcome back. It's been a little bit. We got quite a few things done on the saucer here. Got the lights in and all that. Also did the silver. We did the gold around the outer rim, and then I did some Aztecing. I had some. I kept the. What did he's calling them? The enhancements for the refit Aztecing. I kept those panels because they didn't get stretched out or destroyed. Just a little bit of light paint on top, since your paint needs to use the Aztecs very light. So I kept those and I put those down and put those on the ship, and I think it came out pretty good. And at first I used the is it Medusky? Has it taxidermy place? This is a great iridescent paint. They're really clear until you get to the right angle, and they're for like fish taxidermy, like say like a trout that has the rainbow trout that has all those iridescent colors on their bellies. You can paint it with this stuff. So this works great. It has a little ball in there to shake it. It's a lacquer base. But I used this first, but I went really light, and it kind of went away when I did a clear coat. So then I went and used the pop a little more gold in it. I don't mind if I see a little bit of pigment. Is this Vallejo, the shifters. And they have a lot of pigment, if you can see. And this is the gold yellow to, it's kind of a two-tone that it changes to. It's a gold yellow to burst orange, which doesn't make sense because it actually does like this. It has a green to a gold flake in it. So when you get at different angles, you get this kind of greenish gold look. Otherwise, it's, pretty much a gold. So that worked. I just went really, light, so it wasn't like prevalent. But I kind of like that. Only kind of been doing it on Star Trek stuff, so I figured it'd be nice to do it on a different saucer. Then I got, and actually I didn't glue this down yet, so that's kind of good. Then I got all the red and amber, or yellow, lights put in on the saucer. And if I take the bottom half off here, put you there, put you guys over here. Yeah, you can see them popping through the bottom, and these holes were already drilled from the factory, or at least molded that way. So then I just did a red, yellow, red, yellow. Every other one did the red or the yellow. So that came out pretty good. So we can actually start gluing this together. And that was different. And then this here is one of those boards that I have that are really made for train turn signals. The signals that have like the X and the two red lights, and they flicker on and off. That's what I'm using here. And what you do is you use a common positive, and then your negatives are for the two channels for the lights to flicker. You do have to put resistors on your LEDs for this, because whatever comes in, it sends right back out as far as voltage. This board here can take from, I think they said 5 or 6 volts to 16 volts. But be careful, don't, I think I ruined one by accident just touching. You don't want to touch the positive, you don't want to cross, the positive and negative. Because I think I blew something on one, and one channel only just stays on, the other one doesn't come on at all. So that was an oops. You got a variable speed, so you can change how fast it flickers between the two channels. And it works great. So I'm sending 9 volts through, so I know 9 volts is coming through. And then you, since you kind of have a common positive, I kind of ran my resistors on the negative side and treated it like they were just in reverse. But that's pretty basic setup. And I think that gives us the best position where it's sitting not on a light or a wire. Try to get this glued down. Still have a little bit of rocking there. So that leg there needs a little grinding. Oh, that broke. When did that break? Huh. Must have bumped something into it. Well, that's not going to work. Jeez. Sorry, folks, we got to change this bit. Alright, for the delay here. See if I can do this while it's wired up. Get that leg out of there. See if that fixed the problem. There was a way that this was sitting in there really nice. Oh, twisting all the wires up. I think it's like that. Alright, I think the best thing to grab that with would be some of this Revell, so I can get it in there. Or want it. Sorry if my head's in the way. Or if I should have hit it with some tube glue. Should almost keep some weight on it. Because this wants to keep doing that and I keep moving it around. Okay, so I'm going to let that sit and cure, and then we'll come back and we'll glue these two halves together. But I want this not to be so weebly. And you know what? I'm going to put a little, if I can, I do have those little extensions too. Carefully open these. You got to be careful open these tube glues, because if you give it a little too much of a squeeze, now you're going to have a flood of tube glue coming through. I've had this tube glue for a while. I bought testers, those little orange kits that have like the spinny thing. You can put the little enamel jars in and your brushes, and it comes with the contour putty, and you know. So, but it's always good to have a tube or so of that, because it works good for things like this. Or like I'll use that to glue for these pegs. Tube glue is good for that. It doesn't set up really quick, so you have time to make sure you get your other edges that you might use, like a glue like this, on. You know, so you can immediately hit these and not have to worry about it with the tube glue. And once it bonds and bites into that, it's going to bite into those. And then it gives you time to do your like seam areas with, you know, whatever your other favorite glue is, whether it's a Revell glue like this or these Tamiya glues, which I love a lot. So yeah, so let's let that glue set up. That way when we're working, because we're going to glue these two together, because we can glue them together, because then I can access the lights through these holes that I drilled, and then connect them together. And then here's our switch leg for that, and then we'll wire off this negative. But let's see. Oh yeah, let me see if I can. Oop, don't you fall through, White. You're trying. I should like tie a knot in you or something. And there's a little hole, and there we go. See, that keeps lifting off its spot. I just want to grab this positive and negative. See if I can get the lights to work for you. It's always something in the way and I don't want to scratch. I like to turn my power on first to make sure it's set right, even though it's 99.9% of the time set to 9 volts, but sometimes I am testing other things. Let's see if we can see a little bit what these lights are doing. Yep. See, and then you can adjust how fast you want them. That's kind of cool. And then you can go to real slow. But it kind of gives you an effect of spinning. Depends on how you look at it, it'll look like it's going one direction or the other. How slow can we get it to go? Even slower than that, probably. But I like that. There's my flathead. But that way I can adjust what speed I want these to spin at, or flash at, technically. That's as fast as I can go. I was liking it right there for now, but I can adjust it at will because I'm not gonna glue this top, bridge dome on. I'm gonna leave that. It fits so snug, almost too snug. I had to sand it before I hit it with primer. Should be dry now. I had to sand this whole edge just to make sure it fit, because I also know it's going to get more paint on, color on the outside of this. So I had to paint it to fit, but I'm just going to make it so it's removable, so I can pop. I can fix any lights if I need to. I can fix the board if the board goes a little wonky and goes bad. But I ran this all night last night. I always try to do that. That's a good tip that I got from Boyd over at Trekworks. If anything's going to happen, it's going to happen in that first, 24 hours of running. That's why I don't mind putting my boards inside too, because a lot of times to hide these boards in a base, you got to design a bigger base, or you can't use the bases that come with the model kits if you wanted to. But yeah, that's where we're at. So I want this to sit and cure a little longer. It's going to take a bit because it was tube glue. And I probably should put a weight on it, just to, I don't know what I have. Even this little thing of solder. But I definitely want to turn it off before I do that. Anything conductive. It could fall down and go across these diodes or, those resistors and stuff. I don't want to hit any of that, or even hit the circuit board, the actual chip. But yeah, let's see if I can flip it upside down so you can kind of see. That's gonna be cool. Very circusy. Oh, but let me show you the base. The base is coming along. We're doing the scenic look. So I just got one of these. Let me take this pole out before it falls down and darts right into my finish. That's what it's wanting to do. Yeah, you can get these plaques at Hobby Lobbies. This was $2.99. And they already come with a pre-routed edge. You can get them in different sizes, circles, squares with the corners cut off, whatever, The best thing to do if you don't need it immediately is just to go on their website and order them. I ordered a whole bunch more of these, and all different ones that'll fit. Like, I think even the big Polar Lights dome base will fit on here if you wanted to do that. But you can do something like that with the dome bases. But this is just a spackle. I just put a spackle down, let that dry, gave my terrain up. This is supposed to look like a little, farm area or backwoods with fields or something. And then here's a road that comes up like this, and then another one that goes down along the fence line here. I made a gate here, like to get into this area. So we'll kind of have a little bit of stones and things here, like a car or truck comes in here and parks or keeps going through, who knows. But I think it's just going to be kind of like people coming here to access this pond that I put there. And then I just cut into the wooden base with a router to dig this deeper. I could always built it up with plaster too, but it was easy just to chew that out with a router. And then did a little pre-painting to kind of see what it's going to be like. These are just toothpicks with string wrapped around them. That's my wire. That's my barbed wire fence. I just drilled some holes into the wood base and just stuck the toothpicks down and snap, 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 and just cut them to the height, and then took a string and just wrapped them around. Tied it on one end and just wrapped each one until I tied it on the other end. Piece of styrene and an X for the gate. The gate there. Just got to paint it all up. So that should come on good. And then I drilled the hole. That will be for the rod for the ship, because we're going to have her hovering above it, like if she was coming in for landing or looking for a spot to land or took off. And then I think what I'm going to do here in the scene is I have a whole bunch of trees that are going to go around and grass and blah, blah, blah. Then I think I might do a little campfire here and a little tent here or something. Maybe I'll lay it out a little different because I had trees kind of laid out. I figured car area over here and a little, a little campfire and a little tent. But maybe we'll make the camping area here, do like a campfire like right there or something, and put the tent here. I don't know. I might find a truck or, to go to scale. Or we could always put it over here, like people come here and park and walk over this side. I don't know. But I was thinking, because I'm going to have a tree here and here and here. I was thinking about putting the tent here, and then there's a tree, then doing a campfire right here-ish or something. We'll see how I lay out the trees, and then I'll figure out where I want. But yeah, I think I'm going to use a little flickering bulb to make it look like the campfire's going. That would be cool. So I'll have to do some routering down here to get wires up for that. Probably have to make a pocket here to join those. So that'll be cool. That's coming along. But like I said, let me turn this off so we can put, this solder is a perfect balanced weight. Or it's not too heavy that it's putting weight on the components. But it'll keep a little weight down on that till that glue sets up. So I'll see you guys shortly.